What is going on, guys? Flossie here, bringing you yet another Titanfall video. In today's video I wanted to go ahead and review the G2A4 rifle available in Titanfall. This is a semi-automatic rifle. You can call it a battle rifle, a DMR, an assault rifle, whatever you want. I personally don't consider it a DMR just because of how more quickly it shoots than the actual DMR in the game, but I'll get on into its rate of fire here in a second. You unlock this gun fairly early at level 18, doesn't take much to get it, and it's basically a future incarnation of the real-life gun, the M14. Looks just like it and even shoots very similar to how the gun behaves in real life. Now, I've got to say this is definitely one of my more favorable weapons in the game just because of how accurate it is, and it's definitely more skill-based than something like the carbine. Now, it has a maximum damage of 99 and drops down to 66, which means no matter what engagement range, you're only going to be putting 3 or 4 shots in to take down your enemy, unless you attach a suppressor, of course. And then it has a drop-off starting at 24.77 meters and going all the way down to 41.91 meters, as it does 25 damage to Titan armor, which isn't a lot at all. I definitely don't recommend shooting a Titan's armor with this. And then it does 200 damage while readying, which is decent, but due to the fact that it's a semi-auto rifle and you don't have a whole lot of backup rounds, I wouldn't recommend this in the comparison to something like the LMG. Now, like I said, it does have a pretty quick rate of fire for a DMR at 420 rounds per minute with a 14 magazine size and then a maximum ammo count of 140. So your average clip contains 14 bullets and you have 10 backup clips. At the moment, we don't have the exact recoil stats, but as you can watch the video, you can clearly see it's not very hard to control. I mean, it is a semi-automatic rifle. As long as you're not spamming the button, then it's going to go right on par with where you're aiming. If you do happen to spam it and run out of ammo, the tactical reload is going to take about 2.2 seconds, and then the full empty reload is going to take 2.64, which surprisingly isn't a big difference between the tactical and the regular. You usually see about a second or even more if the clip is completely empty. Now, clearly, because it is a semi-auto rifle, the aim down sight accuracy is extremely accurate even when moving. It's not horribly accurate whenever you happen to be in the air or something, but as long as you're on the ground, this gun is going to be one of the more accurate guns in the game, and is definitely suitable for long-range engagement. As far as the attachments goes, I do really like the iron sights, but for something for more long-range oriented, I definitely recommend the AOG or the hollow. I don't personally feel that the HCOG suits this weapon very well, and I do like the AOG a lot. Occasionally the AOG is a bit too magnified, so I occasionally like to run the hollow. It really depends on the map that you're going on, but those two sights, more than any other, I definitely recommend. I used to use a suppressor when I first unlocked this weapon, but after countless times of putting 3 or 4 shots and then only needing one more shot to put in and then dying suddenly, I went ahead and took off the suppressor, and I haven't regretted it since. So I definitely don't recommend the suppressor on here anymore unless you really just want to stay off that mini-mount. It has another attachment known as the match trigger, which is pretty nice because it takes off the fire cap, which means you can essentially shoot it as fast as you can pull the trigger. But the downfall to that is that it reduces your clip by 6 all the way down to 8. So not only do you have a very small magazine size, but due to the fact that you can shoot as fast as possible, and you're going to run out of each clip very quickly, so I don't recommend that. And the final attachment, which is pretty much the only one that I can recommend, is the extended mag. It doesn't increase it dramatically, it only adds another 4 bullets, so 18 in the clip, which isn't crazy. But I honestly prefer that over the match trigger or the suppressor. I prefer the match trigger the least of all the secondary attachments. I've got to say, I'm just not a big fan of it. 420 RPM is definitely good enough for me. If I don't recommend spamming with this weapon. But yeah, guys, those are all the stats for the weapon. I have definitely enjoyed this. This is probably one of my more favorite guns in total in the game. I do like the R101 as everyone else does, but I do like to use a more skill-based weapon every now and then, and in comparison to something like the longbow, I may do a weapon comparison later. But I definitely recommend this over the longbow. It has a lot less recoil, has a faster rate of fire, and while it does do a little less damage, I just feel that it's more suited for your kind of every situation rather than the longbow, which is mainly mid to long range. But yeah, guys, that is all for my G2A4 review. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay flossy out there.